But there must be so many maybe girls and boys all over this country, you know, all over different countries, different nations who've done really well, who've studied hard, who've passed. I'm remembering the girl, there was a young girl and she looked so amazing and they had been rendered homeless, you know. Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwangi Monday and today I wanted to discuss the results of the recent exams that we've had in the nation. So we have this national exam at the end of Form 4 and the results were announced yesterday or recently. So I was just looking and watching and seeing, wow, teachable moments, you know, things that we can learn in terms of governance. Because this is Governance Monday. And there was one student who came from, I think the first student came from a middle class sort of background and family. So he had a lot of support, even, you know, psychosocial even support in terms of his studies. And then there was this other student who was number 2, but came from a very poor background, you know, really poor. And as I was reading his story, it was encouraging to see that he was even reading in the toilet. You know, I was wondering what gives somebody that kind of energy, that goal, that drive, yet another one lacks it. And his light at night was disturbing his siblings and his family. And so he had to go study in the toilet. You know, that kind of determination is so amazing. But I was wondering, you know, we need to find a way to continue to reward and to almost water and refresh that determination. Because I recently had a song and it was very animated and I was actually watching the video and it was talking about somebody who was, you know, sort of like mugging somebody else. But he was saying, you know, he has to because his mother is sick, she's at home, he needs to get her drugs. But also they made a statement in that song which has not left me. And they said, you know, I wish my parents had given me the money for my university education or for higher education to start a business, maybe we'd be doing better. And it was sad because it's like, you know, the sort of like the nation and the systems are not working or they're working against each other. I saw these 2 young men, you know, with their great win. My heart began to cry and I was like, I hope somebody or I hope the world converges around them, you know, or somebody out there and makes sure that these young men have an amazing education, you know, are able to go on to study what they need to study in terms of university because they need that support. And, you know, once, I think the other day I was watching some of the Mwangi Mondays and I was like, you know, sometimes I'm always giving a call to action and maybe you think, you know, what am I doing? You know, why am I just giving a call to action? But it's because it takes all of us, you know, it's not just about me or us or my community that I come from. We do a lot, but it's not just about us. We're trying to create an awareness and I'm trying to maybe stir up your hearts and stir up your passion to ensure, you know, maybe there's a tug in your spirit to ensure that these young men have a life, you know, they're able to go to school, to go to university or some sort of higher education, they're able to get a skill, they're able to get a job. And yeah, so I just wanted, you know, sort of like finger on the pulse on what's happening in the nation. And also maybe a call to action to ask us to look around because there are these 2 who are highlighted in my head, in my spirit, because I watched the news and saw these happening. But there must be so many maybe girls and boys all over this country, you know, all over different countries, different nations who've done really well, who've studied hard, who've passed. I'm remembering the girl, there was a young girl and she looked so amazing and they had been rendered homeless, you know, and she still studied and got an A, you know, she was also a top student. So number 1, to ask us as responsible parents and in the light of a whole village raising our children to make sure that they get opportunity and that we stay the long haul as well. Because sometimes I think we have guilt and compassion and then we help today, maybe forget about tomorrow, but to go the whole way. So not only educate them, but find them jobs, mentor them, you know, counsel them. Let's find a solution. I'm sure there's somebody out there who has a solution for the young people in this nation and for the young people who are across Africa. Let's get up and do something for our young people. Let's provide them opportunity. Let's provide for them a chance, you know. Hard work should be rewarded. And if you were studying even in the toilet, that should be rewarded. Or the young girl who her and her mother lost everything, yet she continued, including her study materials. Or there was another one who had no access to internet and to Zoom learning. And I loved what he said. He said when he came back that he just gave it his all, and he was sleeping only 30 minutes, and he was so focused and so wanting to do well in this exam. So that's my thought for you today. And also thank you for those who are working in the Ministry of Education, to get the results out. There's a freshness that we can feel about these results, that they're not carried over for a long period of time, that, we feel like the results are real, and that, we can embrace them and move forward, and they give our children a chance. And I guess this is a point where in our society also, we reflect on those who will not make it maybe to the university, what happens to them. I think it's a call to action also to revive TVETs. We really need to revive them, and just to give skills and mentorship, and even maybe to take on apprentices and interns in our organizations. And maybe just a shout out to look around you and to see who needs help, who needs that kind of help, because they really made an effort to study hard. And I guess one day there will be equity and justice for all in this nation, and especially to do with all areas, but because today I'm addressing education, that there'll be an equal opportunity for everyone to have a good education, have access to that education, have access to a higher education, and have access to jobs. Because the sad part about that song was that this young man had done everything. He had studied hard, he'd gone to school, he'd gone to university, but he didn't have a lot to show for it at the end. And therefore also maybe a call to action for entrepreneurs. Let's create jobs, let's create industries. Sometimes we're very afraid of doing something or stepping out boldly to do something, but it's the answer that we need, because it will provide jobs, it will provide employment, it will provide a livelihood. It's the difference between whether people eat today or tomorrow. So if you have an idea in your spirit and you need it executed, just execute it. Look at the bigger picture. Look at how many people it's going to help. And if you're out there and you're one who has stopped development from taking place in the nation of Kenya and other nations because of corruption, because you choose to take a bribe, and an organization or enterprise moves to another nation, really we must stop doing that. We really, really must, because this is our future. Tomorrow it will be your child. You can be taking a bribe today, but tomorrow it will be your child that needs a job, that needs a future, that needs a livelihood. And you've curtailed that, because if that factory or that plant or that business came in, then there would be prosperity for all, and you never know who it could benefit. And congratulations to everyone who's done their national exams and who's done well. And I also remember something else I watched the other day, that, somehow it's the C students that are leading the pack. It hasn't been proven, but a lot of information goes out there to, the C students, the average students. And I heard somebody say it's because they don't have a lot of choice, so they're really focused on what they need to do. But congratulations to those who got A's, B's, C's, D's. Congratulations to everyone who made an effort. Thank you for your effort. And my prayer is that you're able to move into your next, and you're able to move into it with ease, and that there are people out there to help you to achieve and fulfill your purpose and live out your purpose. God bless you, and see you next Monday.